Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm perched on a rock here somewhere between Northmead, North Rocks, Borkham Hills, Castle Hill and Pennant Hills, and there's this absolutely beautiful, wonderful bushland and with numerous tracks, all within about 5 kilometres of my house. And I'm just amazed that I've been living in this area for over 40 years. And it's only now that I'm starting to discover the beauties of suburban Sydney and of my locality. So the call to action for each and every one of us, and thank God for the lockdown, that it's enabled us to learn a little bit more about ourselves, a little bit more about our suburbs, a little bit more about our families, our friends, our work environments, and society in general. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go for a walk and talk like I normally do. It's a little bit overcast. It's Sunday. It's the day before Freedom Day, where we regain our freedoms based on hitting the 70% double vaxxed target that Premier Berejiklian had set for us with Kerry Chant. And we're rapidly accelerating to the 80% double vaxxed level, where we'll get even more freedoms. So we'll see how we go. Yesterday, New South Wales hit 90.1% first vaccination, which means that we're well on track as a state to potentially be one of the highest vaccinated states in the world. And hopefully Australia will follow suit, where we celebrate being top of the pack, given that we started shakily for a number of reasons. But it just goes to show that when you know where you're going, you can't stop a person who knows where they're going. And to our Prime Minister, our premiers, thankfully they stuck to their guns and they just kept on making the necessary changes to achieve the outcomes that we needed in order to keep people safe and hopefully to get the economy firing again and being one of the most robust economies in the world. Anyway, what I want to do today, and it's probably a natural follow-on from that introduction. I didn't plan it that way, but it's worked out that way. The book that I want to go through today is entitled 75 Hard. 75 Hard, an unusual sort of a book title, but it's a book written by an author named Andy Frisella. And we'll just examine and go through some of the points to see where it takes us. So this book is all about developing mental hardness, mental toughness. And the author says that that's one of the key skills that we need in order to get through what we need to get through. And the pandemic over the past 18 months have really tested people's mental toughness. But I remember, I think it was last week, the principal of PLC Sydney said that while things were tough, while things were challenging, he believed that the period that we're going through now is going to help a whole generation of Australians, a whole generation of young Australians have the mental toughness and resilience to be able to deal with anything that pops up in their lives. And of course, to learn how to team and how to be team players and how to understand and appreciate the Australian way of life, the Australian virtues of mateship and support, and the fact that New South Wales has hit 90.1% first vaccinations yesterday just proves that we are on top of this. Took us a while, but we're on top of this, and hopefully we'll move forward with a bright future. So, a lot of people write about happiness and have different views. So my role on Jim's 5am Club is to be an emissary, a messenger, where we go through the book and just present the three main points that the author has tried to present or to articulate. So the author here says that the key to happiness is getting anything you want, and anything you want is mental toughness. So if you want to be happy, according to the author, and if you want to get whatever you want to get, then it's all about mental toughness. So fair enough, we can say that, we can claim it, but the next question is fair enough, but how do you build mental toughness? And the author here says to build mental toughness, you need to put yourself in tough, uncomfortable situations as often as possible. And he actually says you need to do it every day. So every day we need to challenge ourselves in order to hone and build mental toughness. So it's a little bit like what other authors say, that it's the key to growth is to just lean outside your comfort zone, because being outside your comfort zone is where the wow is, where all the action is, where all the growth is. So the author here reminds us that building mental toughness is all about putting yourself constantly in uncomfortable situations every single day. So push yourself every single day to build your mental toughness. So the second point to come out of this book, entitled 75 Hard by Frisella, is where he gives us a few tasks. So he gives us some homework, and the tasks are as follows: to select 5 critical tasks to complete every day for the next 75 days. Hence the title of the book, 75 Hard. So the call to action is to select 5 critical tasks to complete every day. I keep on saying complete, but complete. It's a similar sort of concept. Not exactly, but you know what I mean. You know where I'm coming from. So complete 5. I'll get it there. I'll get there. Just I'm on uneven ground at the moment, so I'm just being distracted. So select 5 critical tasks to complete every day for 75 days. Geez, that was bloody harder than what I thought, just to get that out. So he gives us a few tasks just to consider. And the first one is to commit to a diet. Commit to eating well and to stick to it with absolutely no cheating. No cheat meals, no cheating. Go on a diet, select a diet, and whatever you come up with, and there are lots of different diets, but whatever you come up with, whatever you sign up to, just stick to it religiously for 75 days is the first one. The second one is to drink a gallon of water every day. So a gallon of water is 3.7 litres. I've been reading up on hydration lately, and what I learnt was that the best amount of water, the most from a scientific perspective, the best is to drink or to consume 30 mils per kilo of weight. So depending on how much you weigh, one way of determining what your optimal fluid intake is to look at drinking, as we said, 30 mils of water per kilo of body weight. So the author here talks about drinking 3.7 litres in order to build mental toughness. But I guess what I recommend is maybe not go for the 3.7 litres, especially if you're got a body weight of 50 kilos or 60 kilos, but to fine tune it to your personal needs. The third point that the author talks about is to do and complete a 2 45-minute workouts every single day. So we do this for 75 days. The fourth item on this challenge is to read 10 pages of a non-fiction book. Do it every day for 45 days. Every day for 45 days. And the last point that the author says is to take a progress picture along the way. So what else does this author come up with? The last formal point from this book is where the author says that to finish the challenge, you need to be aware and prepare for the 8 eras, the 8 phases that come with these 75-day challenges, which is interesting. So the first point that the author says and makes is that, I'm just taking a new track today, so I'll see where it takes me. So the first point that the author makes is that during the first 7 to 10 days, you will learn about yourself, your habits, and your excuses. So this is all about learning about yourself. And as the author says, it all comes in phases. So in the first 7 to 10 days, you'll learn a lot about yourself, about your habits, and most importantly, about your excuses, your lame excuses that keep on wanting you to break your habits and to weaken your mind. Day 8 to 14 is the danger zone. Why is it the danger zone? According to the author here, is that the initial excitement of being on this challenge will start to wane after 7 days. So when you're at your eighth day to your 14th day, the excitement starts to wear off, and this is where you're in the danger zone. And the danger zone means that you're more likely to give up at this point, and it's the point where most people give up. Because each year on January 1, on New Year's Day, most people that I know have New Year's resolutions. But what happens is that by the 14th of January, 14th or 15th of January, most people have given up on those resolutions. So it aligns to this era that the author talks about, to the phases. So from day 15 to 21, according to the author, what has happened is if you stick to it religiously with no cheating and no opting out and no distractions, what you've basically done is you've learnt to exterminate excuses and you start to grow exponentially. But this is, once again, a period that you need to get through, because this is the most difficult time of all, where most people tend to give up. Days 22 to 28 is where most people start to experience the greatest transformation. And that's why taking photos is really important, because we start to transform after about a month, 3 weeks to a month of doing something every single day. On days 29 to 35, well, I hope this cave doesn't collapse, but here we go. How beautiful is this? Just being undercover here on this wonderful track. So on days 29 to 35, we experience a flow state, and we start to grow fearless because we've done it for so long. Oh, sorry. It's okay. It's all good. So when we go to day 36 to 49, we start to align, according to this author, to our true self. Interesting stuff. I really, really enjoy this book because what it does is it allows us to put into perspective what we basically... And then we go to days 50 to 63. Days 50 to 63, so I'll just stay here, otherwise my internet will drop out. So days 50 to 63, we had a dip in excitement, but we're reaching expertise, so we don't need the excitement anymore. We don't need to think about it. It's become fairly automatic. And from days 64 to 75, you simply can't lose, and you can leverage your mental toughness in other areas of your life. I don't know if anybody's been watching SAS on television, but SAS is all about building mental toughness, breaking people down and building them up. And I did cadets when I was at school, but I haven't been in the army. But these sorts of things are the things that people would have learnt and experienced when they did national service. You know, every day getting up at the same time, every day getting up and doing calisthenics until you couldn't move anymore. You know, going on long marches, going on night expeditions, doing your bed. There are so many things that we take for granted and we don't even consider as being important. But reading this book here, all of a sudden it allowed me to appreciate a little bit more the importance of having a routine, having a goal, making promises to yourself and sticking to them, because it's only through making promises to yourself and sticking to them that you can then make promises to your wife, to your children, to your business partner, to your manager, to your country, and stick to them as well. Because integrity is all about doing things without people watching what you're doing. You just do the right thing. So a wonderful book, and I recommend it to people. And it's a wonderful lesson for young children and young adults to learn how to build their mental toughness and to have protia and not to rely on other people. Be the first to say hello, be the first to pick up some paper, be the first to volunteer, to be the first to get up in the morning, do your bed, make breakfast, wash the dishes, clean out the dishwasher. There are so many things that we can do on a regular basis. But as the author says, the key is to pick 5. And the 5 that he's elected for us to consider are: pick a diet and stick to it for 75 days without cheating. Drink a gallon of water a day, or 30 mils. I recommend 30 mils for every kilo of weight that you have. Complete 2 45-minute workouts each day, I guess morning and evening. Read 10 pages of a non-fiction book. It doesn't include Facebook, Twitter, and all the other stuff, because a book is a lot more structured. A book has thoughts that have been considered, and it's considered to be OPE, other people's experience, as opposed to social media, which is just other people's opinions. and mixed in with those opinions are featherweight opinions and heavyweight opinions, and trying to figure out which is virtually impossible these days. And the last thing of all is to take progress pictures every day to see how you're going, and what you'll notice once you get to a certain era, as the author says, that you will start to see some massive results. As Anthony Robbins always says, massive action always translates to massive outcomes. They could be massive positive outcomes, or they could be massive negative outcomes, but massive action equals massive outcome. Take care, everybody. Wishing you all the best, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we become partners in each other's growth and development, where we can go on a journey of learning and discovery, and hopefully be better for it. Yasas, take care, and I look forward to coming to you again. Bye for now.